We are chasing valuations and not value. Priyank Kharge is not going to be the IT minister for till the end of the world. But the chair is important, the ecosystem is important. Karnataka was the first state in India to start their own venture fund.
When you have leaders who can make a difference, then difference actually happens.
Government of Karnataka helped close to around 400 odd startups. As long as there is willingness to learn, as long as there is willingness to be the change or bring the change, I think that keeps you motivated.
We've been talking since last 2-3 days. One of the conversations that is coming across is that there has been a funding winter, and last 18 months have been tough for startups and for overall ecosystem, for whatever numbers growing, India growing, micro level pay, it has been tough. So I really want to, kickstart. You talked about funding and what the Karnataka government will do, but at a tangible level, immediately, what can startups here expect from you?
See, one thing, it's my personal opinion, with all due respect to all the entrepreneurs out there. I think somewhere in the last couple of years, we seem to have lost track. We are chasing valuations and not value. I think that is something that needs to be set back. When you're actually adding value to the ecosystem, when you're actually solving a real life problem, yes, the gestation period is longer. But trust me, that is where the big deal is. And what the government of Karnataka can do for you right now is, of course, most of you over here, I think, are aware of the Elevate program. Are you? Are you aware of the Elevate program? Okay. So there are a couple of them who are aware. So I need to advertise more.
Yes, I completely agree with you, sir.
So we have the Elevate program, which is part of a seed funding. Then we also have a special women entrepreneurship program, which is again for funding. We have the rural and the social impact program, which is more like a grand challenges, where the government puts up the problem statement and the startups come up with innovative solutions that we adopt. We are coming up with a public procurement policy, like I mentioned. So, and also the centers of excellence, which can act as incubation. So we are also creating a platform for startups where they have direct access to VCs. So it's just not about funding. Government of Karnataka intends to give you mentorship. They intend to give you incubation. They intend to ensure that when incubated, you have the access to the right markets. Our Global Innovation Alliance ensures that you get great networking space. Then, of course, funding is always there, whether it's the Kitwin Fund, Elevate Fund, or the Unnati Fund, the Samruddhi Fund. They're all government oriented funds for startups. And more importantly, we are also ready to be your first customer. That is something that had not happened before. So the governments that have one government funding or have registered with the thing, we will be trying to open as many doors as possible so that you get access to all these things that I mentioned about. So it's just not funding. It's the entire journey of being an entrepreneur and to ensure that they are successful. That is what the government intends to do.
What are some of the things you personally practice to be resilient when one is not in the power, when the times are tough?
Well, I think there are multiple things that add to that. I mean, our struggle is as good as yours, maybe more sometimes, because you have only a certain set of people that you need to answer to, whereas I have to answer to everybody and anybody. And what keeps us going is definitely, I think, it's very rewarding when you see the policy that you make, people are benefiting from it. The work that you do, people are benefiting from it. Of course, it's very difficult to satisfy everybody. But I think the biggest motivation for me is people themselves. I think I get a lot of energy from the people who are there from my constituents or from the people who are with me, who are working with me, people who are here. I mean, I draw a lot of inspirations from so many of you entrepreneurs. I get to learn a lot. So as long as there is willingness to learn, as long as there is willingness to be the change or bring the change, I think that keeps you motivated. And probably that's why I attend Tech Sparks also, because I get to see so many young people doing so many different things, out of the box things. And it's inspiring, to be honest. It's inspiring. I might be a minister, but trust me, I will not have half the clue of what you're talking. So yeah, I learn from you. And when I learn, I realize that, okay, there is something amiss in the government, there's something amiss in the rule, there's something amiss in the policy that I need to set right. And when I set it right, or when the government sets it right, and it helps and empowers so many people, that empowerment is what I think motivates most of the politicians.
Most of us are here in Bengaluru. You talked about beyond Bengaluru. So startups, if they want to pilot, they want to do MVP, they want to grow their businesses beyond Bengaluru, maybe go to Hubli, Dharwad. What are some of the things that you could quickly help them with?
Beyond Bengaluru is a anchor for the Department of Electronics, IT and BT, and we are ready to bend backwards to ensure that startups and industries are set up there. So anybody who wants to do anything in our tier 2 towns, whether it's Mangaluru, whether it's Hubli, or whether it is Tumkuru, all you need to do is reach out to us, because it's all sector based. So let's say if you have something to do with agriculture, maybe Hubli might be the place to go and not necessarily Mangaluru. But if you are interested in marine biotech, maybe Bengaluru is not the right place, Mangaluru is a better place. So sector specific focus is what we have. So Belagavi will be aerospace. We are coming up with this cluster-based approach for accessories of manufacturing can be Kalburgi. So if anybody has interest, all they need to do is reach out to the government, reach out to my office and say, this is what we want to do. We will be the enablers for you. We will liaison for you irrespective of which department you have worked with. We will ensure that, like I said earlier, a single window system does not lead to many doors. I mean, our focus is heavily on that, and the sector-based approach is what is going to help us, so that even they are very clear on their vertical and where they need to go.
How do we reach out? Where do we reach out? And to whom?
See, one is, of course, there's Mr. Ashwin
Stand
right
up.
here.
Ashwin.
Ashwin is the most important man. So if you can raise your hand, Ashwin. So he's the most important man in these events, because always I get these questions and always he's the one who has to bear the brunt for all this. So there is a sudden rush on. So he comes 15 minutes after I leave, because a lot of people keep exchanging cards. But having said that, if you have already registered with our startup cell, so by default, we take you in. So all you need to do is place a request on that. And also we'll be coming up with a new way of reaching the minister itself, the Minister for Electronics, IT, irrespective of who the minister will be. You'll be able to reach the minister probably directly. So with your queries or anything, that will be coming up something by probably mid next month. So we intend to launch that
next month.
Mid next month.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But until then, Ashwin is your only source.
Yeah, okay, now at least we know, Ashwin, we need to have the light on you. Thank you. If you guys have any questions, then please ask.
So the question to you is that you talked about Hubli, Dharwad and Mysore, right? You also talked about the cluster seed fund, which is specifically for these regions, right? But the problem is that a lot of entrepreneurs, including myself in Bangalore, they are still worried about the seed grant, or there are various schemes which are floated by the government. Still, the last mile journey is very, very tough for us, right? I mean, as Shradha ma'am told, right, that what is the end resolution, that how can we reach out to, not just through, of course, Ashwin, but there has to be a systematic channel where we can put our queries. I mean, we should not be reluctant enough to just reach out to you. I mean, maybe we can get an entry into the Vidhan Sabha to meet you or whatever, but I mean, just kidding, right? But the point is that, the question is that what are the initiatives which you plan to take so that even a small entrepreneur in Hubli Dharwad can meet you in Vidhan Sabha?
The idea is to create a robust mechanism so that you don't have to meet the minister at all. If I'm able to create a system wherein you will know whether when to participate, when to what kind of documents to submit, what kind of have a seat, please, have a seat. What kind of documents you require to be partner with government, what it takes for you to collaborate with the government. I don't think you really need to need to meet the minister. I agree with you on one thing. Things have slowed down in the last couple of years with respect to the processes. That was because we were not in government. Now that we are back on the saddle, give me some time. I will ensure that there is a great mechanism for all of you to reach out to the government. Priyank Kharge is not going to be the IT minister for till the end of the world. But the chair is important, the ecosystem is important, and we are already creating a mechanism, a sort of ease of reaching out or ease of doing business for startups or for entrepreneurs to have their queries addressed. So probably, like I said, probably in mid next month or late next month, it should be ready for any entrepreneur to reach out to the government, put out their query and get it answered in a short period of time. But having said that, in case there is anything more that needs to be done directly by the ministry also, we will be creating that window of opportunity. So all I seek is a little bit of your time, a little bit of your patience, and we'll ensure that the department comes up with a very, very robust and agile mechanism for a two-way communication with the ecosystem.
What is your aspiration?
My aspiration? To serve the people of Karnataka.
We also hope that you don't remain IT minister and you keep growing. Where do you see?
See, that's left for the people and the party, of course.
Yes.
So, as long as I do my work, I'm sure the people of Chitapur will bless me. If people of Chitapur bless me and the party thinks that I'm good enough, I'll be the minister. And when I'm the minister, Shradha will call me here. Otherwise, she will not call. So, at least to ensure that I get your invite, I need to get elected.
I just want to understand on emerging technology, on AI, blockchain, these kind of things, if you are restarting a focus at ITBT and what issues you guys are trying to focus on there.
We are getting ourselves ready for the future. If you heard me in my speech, I was very clear that the narrative that the government of Karnataka intends to bring in is skilling in emerging technologies and incubation of these technologies through centers of excellences with private collaborations with companies. So irrespective of sector. So if we are going to dive deep into each one of them. So you might ask me, like, what is government's priorities? Government's priority is everything. I cannot miss any bus that passes by. If you are going to tell me that let's focus on AI now, I will miss the fintech bus. If you say let us concentrate on the fintech, I will miss the gaming industry bus. If you tell me gaming industry bus, I will miss the biotech bus, because the ecosystem within India, within the states, besides competing with China, I'm also competing with Chhattisgarh. So the competition is so fierce that I cannot afford to miss any bus. So emerging technologies is going to be extreme focus for us, and that is why we have probably name the consultants right now. All of them have been hired by Government of Karnataka. We have given them sectors. We have divided sectors to them, whether it's life sciences, whether it is blockchain. Every consultant has been given specific sectors so that they come out with a roadmap for that. So each of these roadmaps will lead to ensuring that that particular vertical thrives through skilling, through incubation, through centers of excellence, through innovations. This time we have double the budget than what we had last time. So we'll be spending hundreds of crores in collaboration with other departments to ensure that each and every vertical in the emerging technologies is taken care of.
Bengaluru has been probably India's largest startup ecosystem. It's also the largest venture ecosystem as well, if I'm not wrong. So I recently met somebody from the government of Tamil Nadu who's started a government venture fund. And also mostly the venture funds are funded by foreign capital, right? So all the returns are going out of India. Is the government doing something, or can we do something to fuel more domestic capital into this venture ecosystem so that the returns sort of circulate within and help us grow the economy?
Karnataka was the first state in India to start their own venture fund. We have the Karnataka IT Venture Fund, which is more than 25 years old. And post that, in my previous tenure, for the first time, we started a program called Elevate 100, where we started giving grants of up to 50 lakhs for startups. Unfortunately, last 3-4 years, like I said, somehow they have not been able to dovetail with the ecosystem. And we have lost, momentum is lost. And in the past 3 months, I'm trying to regain that momentum that we have lost. Tamil Nadu must have started a fund right now, but we have started it a long time back. And if you see our policies, my only request to all the young entrepreneurs over here is that kindly have a look at all of our policies. They are very good. So whether it's our startup policy, whether it's our AVGC, that's the animation, visual effects, gaming, comics policy, the biotech policy, your data center policy, your manufacturing policy, your battery manufacturing policy, EV policy. So we have this whole lot of policies that sort of incentivizes and funds and ensures that the ecosystem thrives. In fact, most of our policies are replicated by central government. The Startup India policy or the Startup India program was replicated by us. In fact, we unveiled it here in YourStory the first time when we came. And after that, Startup India began. So we have that policy. We have a great policy wherein even venture funding comes a part of it. But what I could definitely do is that I will call all the venture capitalists. I will seek their time and try and understand how they can join hands with the government to ensure that domestic startups are funded by domestic VCs. So that is something that I can do, and probably just give me a month or a couple of months, I'll have it done, and I will probably will come out with a program so that the domestic startups prosper with domestic VCs.
This is for all of us, when we critique the government, is that when you have leaders who can make a difference, then difference actually happens. When there is an intent, then things do happen, and I know that you've made so many things happen. So we are just hoping that now you will make a lot of things happen. And Elevate 100 should get elevated more, because somewhere
the name was Elevate 100, but in 1 year, the then government of Karnataka helped close to around 400 odd startups. In 1 year, show me one VC in the world who's done that. And I can give you the 400 startups that we have helped in 1 year. And it's just exponential. 400 became 500, 600. So in fact, the next thing we wanted to come up was Elevate 500. Then Sarkar gir gayi tab. So now we are back on the saddle. We'll ensure not 1,000, 10,000. We have the appetite. Karnataka has the appetite. Government has the appetite. The entrepreneurship spirit is burning bright. We just need to channelize it together. That will only happen when I listen to the ecosystem. So why am I spending time here listening to you is because policies are always playing catch up to technology. We don't understand technology. You understand technology. So only when you tell us, look, Mr. Minister, Priyank, that this is the problem with your policy. This is the problem with the law. It is detrimental to the technology or my progress. I will ensure that we bring in the right set of laws for the state. So that is progress. That is going to help the ecosystem. So like you said rightly, political intent is very, very important. And be rest assured, the government of Karnataka's political intent is there to ensure that you progress so that you can create more jobs for our people. More jobs means better standard of living. Better standard of living means better progress for the state. And the better the state progress, like I said, Karnataka is the only state that can propel the nation at the global arena. And we will just do that with your help.
We have got funding from the Startup India earlier. So, organization that has got funding from Startup India, I believe it is still eligible to get Karnataka startup. Here we had little clarification and doubt.
You are saying you had got funded from Startup India,
That's correct.
whether you are eligible for another funding from the state
Karnataka.
government.
Yes.
So this problem had happened earlier also when a startup was funded by the state government, and they had also one from Startup India, but the government of India said you cannot double dip. So whereas there are two different schemes. The central government, I believe, treats that as double dipping. We are okay with it as long as you are a startup registered in Karnataka. And so if you are one in Startup India, great, that validates your idea. So we should be encouraging you by default. So I don't think that should be a problem here. We don't have a rule that says that just because you have got funded by Startup India, you should not get funded by Elevate. But having said that, but if you have already got funded by Elevate, you cannot avail any other benefit from the state government, any other funding benefit. You can go for any of our Center of Excellence, incubation, validation. You can participate in our public procurement policy. All that can be done. But no double dipping within the state funds.
During the last year when the rains happened in our Bangalore, right, the KT Ramarao, who is the counterpart of you in Telangana, he started this initiative that move out of Bangalore, right? So now, do you think it's our chance that you start an initiative, move out of Hyderabad?
Mr. KTR said that the startups from Karnataka should pack their bags and come to Hyderabad because we have a better social and physical infrastructure. Physical infrastructure any state can give you. Social infrastructure is something that the administration should be giving. So I will not dwell into what he meant by social infrastructure, but the then regime were quite busy with other things. They were interested in what kind of meat you eat. They were interested in what kind of prayers you do. We are open. As long as you are following things constitutionally, this government has no problem with it. Hyderabad has a lot of catching up to do with Karnataka. Even they are growing at a rate of 31%, if I am not mistaken. We are growing at a rate of 29% year on year. But the difference between them and us only in exports is close to around $247 billion. Okay, so that is services. Now let's talk about manufacturing, biotechnology, aerospace. I have a clear 50% lead over everything, every sector. Having said that, my job is to ensure that the lead gets better, bigger, so that they can't catch up. They won't catch up because I have a great ecosystem with you. I have people like yourself. And just to ensure that how good this government is for our people, if you recollect, we lost the Apple iPhone assembly unit. The first assembly unit in India did not go to Telangana. All of you were very enamored by his speech. I still remember the entire ecosystem. KTR ne bahut acha baat kiya. He's a very articulate gentleman. No, this thing. Gujarat, the then Gujarat CM announced Apple iPhone is coming to Gujarat. The then Maharashtra CM, Mr. Fadnavis, announced it that आ गया. प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने बोल दिया कि वो भारत को आ रहा है, गुजरात को जा रहा है. आया कहाँ पे? Bangalore. Why? Because we don't believe in blowing our trumpets. We did work silently. At 2 a.m. in the morning, 1 a.m. in the morning, me and my team members were in Vidhan Soda to give Cupertino a presentation on the ecosystem that Bangalore gives. That's why we got it. 1 a.m. That is the commitment of government of Karnataka. After that, again we lost out the race to some of the OEMs, to Tamil Nadu. In the last, we were number one. In the last 3.5 years, we lost that tag. Tamil Nadu now exports close to around 33,000 crores worth of accessories, electronics accessories. Now we are number 3. Give me 1 year, we will be number 1 again. Just to ensure, let me tell you, a OEM manufacturer, a OEM that we had lost to Tamil Nadu. We, the industry minister, Mr. M.B. Patil, and me, flew to Chennai, spoke to the CEO of the OEM. We convinced him that he needs to be here. In Chennai, we signed a $1.8 billion investment and came back. In Chennai, we signed. So the message is loud and clear. Karnataka is open for business. Karnataka means business, and Karnataka will ensure businesses thrive because we are going to give you a great social and physical infrastructure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your
sir.
attention, and thank you for having
Thanks
me.
a lot.
Thank you.